I took Machine Learning Specialization created by DeepLearning AI in Coursera last summer, and this is my certificate. Also, thanks to this course, I was able to land a role as data scientist early this year. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys a course review about Machine Learning Specialization based on my 3 months for experience. As we all know, machine learning plays an essential role in data science. So if you want to build your knowledge in machine learning, aiming to become a data scientist or any other related roles in the future, this video might be for you. Before making this video, I was concerned about infringing the copyright as I need to feature the course page and some short video clips. So to avoid this issue and to respect their intellectual property, I wrote an email to DeepLearning AI team early this week for permission to make this video. And it's my great pleasure to get permission from them. So thank you so much, DeepLearning AI team, for your support. And without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. So Chapter 1, Course Introduction. Machine Learning Specialization is created by Andrew Ng's DeepLearning AI team and their collaboration with Stanford University. So I think everyone who has previous exposure to data science or machine learning must know Andrew Ng as an established figure in AI industry. He was formerly a chief data scientist at Baidu, the largest Chinese search engine company, and now he's the co-founder of Coursera and the director of Stanford AI Lab. This course is available on Coursera, and it has a 4.9 out of 5 in rating. When I was taking this course last summer, I paid monthly subscription for $49, but you can also enjoy 7-day full access free trial. So if this course doesn't meet your expectation, you can cancel it anytime within 7 days. You can also apply financial aid to get certain discount. Now, what's the purpose of this course? Well, this course is for you if you want to gain the machine learning fundamentals, especially in supervised and unsupervised machine learning algorithms, before you want to get your hands dirty to build some real-world projects. Also, I believe if you truly make the best use of it, you may even have a chance to land a job. At least this is the case for me. So back then, when I was in school last year, I took this course without actually having intention to get a job. Instead, my intention was to get myself prepared for the course called Machine Learning in Quantitative Finance in the upcoming semester, because most of the courses in the Faculty of Economic Sciences at my university are very technical and intense. So in this way, I didn't have to start with familiarizing the basic concepts and the fundamentals. I could instead focus on advanced topics and building more projects. But for some stupid reason, I didn't really learn anything from the machine learning course at my school. Then what kind of prerequisites do you need for machine learning specialization? Well, from the coding perspective, you just need to know some basic syntax like writing loops, functions, else-if statements, etc. And trust me, your coding skills will grow a lot along the way. Also, from the math perspective, machine learning is not statistical, it's very calculus and linear algebra instead. So if you already have foundations in calculus and linear algebra, that will make your study much easier. But if you don't have, I think that's totally fine, because there are 1 or 2 optional sessions about basic calculus and matrix computation in this course, and Andrew explained the math concepts in a very beginner-friendly way. So it's quite easy to understand, and you don't need to worry about that. Now, in this chapter, I'm going to cover what the course structure looks like and what you are going to learn. So machine learning specialization has 3 course series. They are supervised machine learning, regression and classification, advanced machine learning algorithms, and unsupervised learning, recommenders, reinforcement learning. Each course series has 3 to 4 modules, and it took me around 1 week to complete each module. And depending on the module complexity, each week you will get like 10 to 20 videos, 2 to 5 quizzes, 1 to 2 programming assignments, and 1 to 5 ungraded labs. And as you can see, each video is more or less 10 minutes. But it definitely took me more than 10 minutes as I was listening to the course while taking the notes at the same time. Also, quizzes are not difficult. They just check your basic understanding of some key concepts covered in the lectures. Regarding programming assignments, you are estimated to spend 3 hours to complete one, but from my perspective, I was not really comfortable with coding at the time, and it for sure took me less than 2 hours because you are not going to, ask to write everything from from scratch, it's like 80% of it is already done, and you are only asked to complete the rest of 20% between the lines. Then the next question is, what kind of knowledge you are going to learn out of it? Well, in the first course series, as the name suggests, you are going to learn regression and classification. So from the theory perspective, you are going to grasp linear regression, multiple linear regression, polynomial regression, logistic regression, which is actually classification. And along the way, Andrew talks about gradient descent, cost function, feature scaling, feature engineering, overfitting issues, etc. And these are very, very important topics in machine learning. And from the coding perspective, you will be exposed to some important functions in pandas, numpy, scikit-learn, and you will also know how to build regression and classification models. And then the key takeaway in the second course series is neural networks. The algorithms covered in this area include decision trees, random forest, and XGBoost. Other really important concepts like learning curves, avoiding overfitting issues, bias and variance trade-off that occurs during the model training will also be well explained. Then moving to the lab session, where you will learn how to use a very important library in Python for training neural networks called TensorFlow. Also, in the coding assignment, Andrew will show you how to build neural networks with TensorFlow step by step. In the last course series, you will study unsupervised learning, recommender system, and the reinforcement learning. So, starting from the first week, you'll be introduced to K-means and PCA, or Principal Component Analysis, and they play a very important role in building clustering models, which will also be discussed later in the videos. And based on my personal experience, recommender system and reinforcement learning are the most difficult topics in the entire machine learning specialization. So, if you complete each course series, you will receive one certificate, and if you complete all three series, at the end of the day, you will get a final certificate stating you complete machine learning specialization, like the one I showed you guys in the very beginning of this video. So you can post your certificates to LinkedIn to showcase your dedication and commitment. That's definitely a great plus in job searching. Now we are in chapter 3. In this part, I'm going to share my opinion of this course and why I highly recommend it. Well, my first point is tightly related to what I shared in the chapter 2. If you were in the previous chapter, I think you would agree with me saying that this course is well structured and designed. By this, I mean the entire course has quite a good balance in it. The length of each course area is more or less the same, and it's not like one is shorter and the other is much longer. Also, even though each video is only around 10 minutes, but in my point of view, they incorporate very important information, and I think at least for me, it's more efficient than attending the 2-hour machine learning lectures from school and get very distracted in the middle of nowhere. And the point I really like this course is that you need to apply the theoretical knowledge you get from the videos to do some coding practice in the coding assignment. It's very hands-on in my perspective. And then the last point I want to add here is that I think this course has reasonable progression in terms of topic complexity and the extent of challenge. It's not like very easy from beginning to the end, nor it's like day 1 printing hello world, day 2 building applications. From the user perspective, it's really good design. Okay, secondly, I recommend this course also because it's very useful and practical. I mentioned many important concepts in chapter 2 like PCA, clustering, bias, and variance trade-off, ensemble study, etc. So if you have some experience in job searching in data science or something similar, you would know that these are actually very popular questions during the interview. Next, I recommend this course because I really like Andrew's style of teaching, which is very clear, easy to understand, and that has kind of sense of humor. I really like the point that he can break down some boring, theoretical concepts into something quite interesting. I could still remember the analogy he made when explaining gradient descent. It's just like a tiny little guy trying to figure out, the route to the bottom. This is quite interesting to me. I could also remember he used like some cats as an example to explain classification, and this really engages me.
Please don't actually put a real cat or dog in a bag. That sounds inhumane, but you can take a training example and put it in a theoretical bag if you want.
Huh?
Also, this is the way how he breaks down calculus.
If W goes up by 0.001, I'm going to use this up arrow here to denote W goes up by 0.001, where 0.001 is this small value epsilon. Then J of W roughly goes up by 6 times as much.
I believe people who have no exposure to calculus would understand what he's talking about. We are in the last chapter, so if you're going to take this course, here I have some tips for you. The first one is about job opportunities coming out of it. This course may help you land a job as data scientist, machine learning engineer, or something similar, but please don't project too much expectation onto it, especially if you don't have any previous work experience in data science. Having a certificate from Coursera is definitely a plus in job searching because the recruiters can see your, growth in knowledge, your passion and dedication, etc. But what they really care about is not a piece of paper, but the application of the knowledge you learn to solving real-world problems. This application can be some cool Kaggle projects or something you build for other people for free. Also, the model is not necessary to be fancy. The R score doesn't need to be that desirable. Anyway, they really need to see that you already try to use the knowledge instead of stacking the knowledge in your mind and forget most of it with time going by. In my case, this course helps me a lot in landing a job as data scientist because I built 3 to 4 hands-on projects out of it. I think probably in my next video, I can talk about these projects. Now, my second tip, time management. I know finishing this course might be quite hard for some of you, especially you are currently a full-time student or you have demanding 9-to-5 job. It was definitely not easy for me either because back then in the last year, I was having my 9-to-5 internship and studying after work at the same time. So I would stress you to break down these big projects into some, smaller, doable pieces. Since each week you will have around 10 videos to finish, you may as well get up 20 minutes early in the morning, check one video before going to school or work, and check the other one before sleep rather than scrolling through social media. And then during the weekend, you can just focus on the coding assignment. Now, my last tip is about the coding part of the course. As I mentioned before, you only need to write some short lines of code because the code structure and 80% of the code are already made. But to make the best use of it for your benefit, I will stress you to check everything in the code, even including the written functions, so that you can learn new functions, understand every step involved in building certain model and the logic behind, those written functions. And then you can try to apply them to your own projects so that I think you can better internalize the knowledge you learn. So that's everything I want to share with you guys today. So if you really want to take this course, hoping one day you will become data scientist or something similar, I hope this video is helpful for you and good luck. See you next time. Bye.